Hi guys, good afternoon and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in today's video I will be doing my episode review for my last delayed episode review for The Strain, which premiered last Sunday. I am now all caught up and ready for tonight's new episode. I'm sure it's going to be a doozy. Anyway, I just got finished watching last week's episode, and I gotta say, this might be one of my new favorite episodes of the series. And before I start gushing about and going on and on, of course, please be warned, as usual with all my episode reviews, this will be full of big spoilers, giant spoilers. So if you're not caught up on The Strain, do not keep watching or listening, as I will be going to spoiler detail. So, you have been warned. That being said, in this week's episode of The Strain, we have learned a valuable lesson. Love hurts. At least that was a recurring theme throughout this episode, and I loved how all three separate stories kind of intertwined that. We had Quinlan's flashback, we had Fett and Charlotte breaking up, and then we also had Zack dealing with his own teenage love angst with his chambermaid. So that was like the recurring theme. But I think what I loved most about this episode was that Quinlan wasn't trying to be a prick and tell Fett, hey, I question your girlfriend's loyalty or her commitment, we should just leave her behind. He was doing that to spare him the pain of losing someone he loved, because he knows what that feels like. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, oh my god, he's trying to spare Fett the pain that he went through when he lost his little family. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. I absolutely loved the parallels between what was going on with Fett and Charlotte and what happened with Quinlan in his past. It just, because the more I thought about it, I'm like, oh, this is what's happening. Now he's going after the master, and he's leaving this woman and her little girl behind, and he's off to go kill him because he's that determined. And then that's why he's giving Fett this advice. I mean, it makes so much sense now. And I also love how this whole thing has practically solidified or really brought Fett and Quinlan together as allies. Like, they're already growing closer. They're already growing close. I feel like this episode made them grow closer together, which is awesome, because these two kick ass and they are total badasses alone and together. I absolutely just loved how the Fett storyline paralleled the Quinlan storyline. We had like transitions from past to present, and it totally worked. I gotta say, I felt pretty bad for Zack. I know where he's coming from. It's not easy learning that a girl you like has another man in her life and whatnot. We've all been there. But I did not approve of allowing the creepy feeler to basically turn her. I really thought he was going to say, let her go, or that's enough, or back off or something. But no, that little bastard just let it happen, and he even went as far as to be like, I'm not going to listen to this, as it happened behind him. So I was like, damn, Zack, are you trying to make the audience hate you more? Because I'm pretty sure this episode is going to make them just calling for Zack's head now. I mean, people already hate this character, and I think this just added more fuel to the fire for the most part, unfortunately. But you know what? I don't feel like Zack's story was a central vocal point for this episode. I feel like the big vocal point was what was our characters finally getting out of North Dakota and making their way back to New York to regroup with the rest of the team and finally destroy the Master once and for all. And also, it was the huge parallels between Fett and Quinlan's past and present that I feel like really made this episode so good. And, like I said, Quinlan wasn't trying to be a jerk about anything. He was just trying to spare both Fett and Charlotte, because clearly Quinlan has the capacity of caring about someone other than himself, he's capable of caring about something other than just killing his evil father, the Master. Because since we've met Quinlan, it seems like he's had this one goal in his mind the whole time. Even though he's got allies and he's fought beside them and whatnot, the only thing he seems to give a rat's ass about is killing the Master. Kill the Master. Gotta kill Dad. Gotta kill kill Daddy, you know. But this flashback, this backstory we saw with him, the woman and the little girl, and then him remembering that, seeing what Fett and Charlotte were going through, it's like, you know, I feel like it just added so much more depth to his character, and I loved that. That's why this might be one of my new favorite episodes of this show, or maybe of this season, because this just had so much character-driven moments and some pretty cool, exciting action sequences to it as well. Like, I loved the crazy sniper slowing down Eichhorst on the airway by taking out his tires. And then I loved Charlotte shooting at Eichhorst from afar. That was awesome. That put a huge grin on my face. I'm like, okay, that was awesome. That was badass. You know, this episode just had so much going for it, and I really, really enjoyed it. And, you know, I especially enjoy Quinn and Fett's relationship. Like, you know, Fett had that funny line, like, did you just give me a compliment? And Quinlan, who's finally seeming to lighten up, is like, I like to give them out every 100 years or so. That shit was hilarious. So, well done, Strain. Well done. This was a great episode. Good job to everybody on it. Whew, that was fun. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me for my last delayed video here on the EdWord. I promise you I will be posting my review and reaction to the latest episode of The Strain once it premieres later tonight on FX. New episode, don't miss it. I'm sure you'll be watching it before or after Game of Thrones or whatever. And don't miss the Game of Thrones season finale too. I'm sure that's going to be exciting. I'll be watching it as I upload this video. Well, guys, thanks again for stopping by. I hope to see you back later tonight for my latest review of The Strain. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more episode reviews like this one, and check out my Facebook page in the description down below. I think you'll like what you see. What did you guys think of this episode? Love it, hate it, like it? Anything surprise you? Anything not surprise you? As usual, I'm always encouraging everybody, and a lot of you have been doing this lately, and I love you and applaud you for it. Please leave your opinions and your feedback down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear from everybody. We can disagree with one another, of course, but let's just please keep it civil. All right, guys, have a great rest of the day if I don't see you. And, of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.